Today I am reviewing Hartford Stage's production of August Wilson's Two Trains Running, directed by Gilbert and McCauley, running through February 16th at Hartford Stage at 50 Church Street in Hartford, Connecticut. Ride the rails over to my Patreon page where you can, for as little as $1 a month, support this show as well as my classic cinema podcast, Yesterday's Matinee, where the latest episode is always exclusive, available for patrons. The latest episode is the 1929 film Un Chien Andalou. All other episodes are also available on Spotify. Thank you to my current patrons, especially my Neo and Hamilton tier patrons, and welcome to the new ones. Links to my Patreon and Spotify pages are in the description. There's an old adage, everybody dies, but not everybody lives. August Wilson's Two Trains Running does a bit of a riff on that. As Wilson said regarding the play, there are always and only two trains running. There is life and there is death. Each of us rides them both. The quote doesn't say we're on both trains at the same time, and I wonder if Wilson implies that though we all at one point have traveled on both trains, but we tend to spend more time on one than the other. The question is, do we know which direction we're going? Two Trains Running is part of Wilson's Century cycle. This one is set in a Pittsburgh diner, which is excellently designed by Lawrence E. Moten III in 1969. The owner, Memphis, played by Godfrey L. Simmons Jr., is being squeezed out of the property due to eminent domain. He is unmovable as to how much he is willing to have the restaurant sold for, and is willing to take the matter to court if necessary. The local funeral director, West, played by George Bennett Watson, is a bit more affluent than most of the other people in the neighborhood, and is willing to buy the property also, but not at Memphis's asking price. There are a number of regulars at the diner who add their own palettes to the tapestry of the play. There's Wolf, played by Postell Pringle, a numbers runner who takes calls from people looking to place bets on a local Pick 3 lotto at the diner. There's Risa, played by Taji Sr., who is Memphis's sole employee who does all the work in the restaurant, from cooking meals to serving to bussing and cleaning. There's Holloway, played by Jerome Preston Bates, who is kind of the local wise man who always has some bit of wisdom to impart on the other characters. There's Hambone, played by David Jennings, a mentally ill man who repeatedly demands for his ham that is owed to him by another local shop owner who we never actually meet. Finally, there is Sterling, played by Raphael Jordan, an ex-con who is constantly looking for a new hustle to make a quick buck and maybe convince Risa to be his girl along the way. Though I like the play, it's not Wilson's best. I think the piano lesson and Fences in particular are better works. Most of the conflict happens offstage, and we depend on the story's journey through characters coming to the diner to exposit things that have happened offstage. From Memphis's battle for a fair share on the sale of the restaurant, to the memorial service for Prophet Samuel, a revered local religious leader who died just before the beginning of the play, to Wolf's and Sterling's various schemes. Because most of the action takes place offstage, this makes life difficult for actors who spend more time monologuing about their feelings about what happened versus dealing with the conflict on stage. I'm not saying there isn't any conflict on stage. Memphis is frequently arguing with everyone around him, mostly out of frustration with everyone telling him how to settle with a lower bid than he's willing to take. He's angry that Wolf is using his restaurant to take bids. He's angry that West wants to buy him out. He's angry with Sterling for making stupid juvenile delinquent decisions, Hambone for being an annoyance, and just generally yells at Risa. But these are all pretty much slight character conflicts that are temporal and reflect the frustration of Memphis and the injustice he knows is being served to him because he is a black business owner and the white officials want to squeeze him for less money. Godfrey L. Simmons is fantastic in the role. He delivers a monologue in the second act decrying the unfair nature of the world that is spellbinding. Jerome Preston Bates is also superb as the wizened Holloway. He mostly sits in one spot the entire play, but he holds the audience in his hands the entire time, whether it be talking about a 322-year-old fortune teller or waxing poetic on oppression and the black struggle for equality. Martin Luther King Jr. had been assassinated just the year prior to when this play is set, and Richard Nixon's in the White House, and there is an air of socio-political uncertainty. The different characters embody different ethics in dealing with this uncertainty. What really helps the play succeed is that though it is a 2.5-hour drama plus intermission, Wilson infuses the play with humor that McCauley and the cast embrace. It's a pretty funny piece, especially surrounding Sterling's harebrained schemes and everyone's reaction to him. In the end, though the death train does make a stop in the story, Wilson chooses to embrace life and invite the characters, and the audience, to climb aboard. There's hope on the train of life. You may have to go through some dark tunnels to get there, but solidarity and love can get you through. But I'm only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see 2 trains running, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be links to my Patreon and Spotify pages, as well as my social media pages where you can follow and support my work. You can also support me by liking and sharing this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Moon Over Buffalo at Music Theater of Connecticut. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.